Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in this short video we'll try to see why and when we still need track decorator in Salesforce LWC when all the properties are reactive by default. Okay, so we will try to create a new LWC component and we will see it practically. So I am on my VS Code screen and I am going to create a new LWC component. Let me name it track example and we'll save it on the default location. Let me also open the HTML file. Let me drag it to the right. Okay, and let's work on this HTML and JS file and see when do we need the track decorator. So I'm going to create a property. Let's call it person, and this person is going to be a object. Okay, so I am going to create a person which is of an object type. Okay, now I want to display this object on the HTML side. Okay, so I will come back to my HTML and let me just add a lightning card, maybe a title. Let's call it track example. Nothing fancy. What I want to do here is I want to display the property of my person object from my JavaScript on my HTML. Okay, so let me create a p tag and let's call it person name is, and then how do we access the property of our object? The name of object dot the property. Okay, so we are going to copy it and that's how we are going to make it visible on the HTML side. I'll copy it and I'll say age and city. Let's Alright, why I'm creating this video is because this is a very important interview question and I want you all to have a practical understanding of what you are answering. I know most of the people are able to answer it, but they have not tried, many of them have not tried it practically. So that is why I am trying to create it here. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to create a button. What I want to do is from my UI I want to change the city of this person and I want to see if that change will reflect back in JavaScript or not. So in a way, will it be reactive in two way or not? Okay, not a button. I will create a input tag. So let's create an input tag and let's call it a label name. Value should be person dot city, and on change I will have a handler. Let's call it city change handler and I will copy it and I'll have to provide the value, or I will have to provide the body of this handler. So this handler is getting called an event. What I want is I want to change, or I want user to provide the value in the city, or let's call it change city, and then I want to pass that value to JavaScript so that JavaScript will read it and then we will change the value of this person object. Okay, so that is the intention. Now this dot person dot city is going to be event dot target dot value, and what we are trying to say here is that whenever this city change handler will be called upon this event of on change, go to this event, check the target and then get the value from it here. This value user will be entering. By default you will display person.city value, which is Hyderabad, but then whatever user will enter here will then be passed on to your JavaScript and then will be assigned back to the person.city. So on line number 5 we are displaying the city of this person, Once a user changes, then this city should also be changed along with what user is entering on line number 6. So in a way, line number 5 and line number 6 should be in sync. Whenever we change the value in line number 6, 5 should also get changed if it is reactive by default. Okay, so I'm going to deploy this to production, and before that let us also change the meta XML file of it, because otherwise it will not be visible. So let's do that. Targets, and then target, and add it on, let's say on the record page, and save it. And then let's try to deploy this to org. Okay, let me open the org from here, and let me open it right here. Okay, all right, this is my Salesforce instance. I will go to, let's say, an account page, and I will try to add this LWC component in the record page. This is my dev org, so I'm using this to teach the basic concepts of LWC. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to add this LWC component, and we will see if it is working or not. So the name was track example. We'll come here, we'll see, do we have lightning extra input tag? We'll see that. Okay, let me open the Salesforce, and we have added it. Let's save it and come back to Salesforce and see the behavior of it. Sometimes it is a bit slow. Let me refresh it. I think it froze. Alright, so we have added our component on the page, and you can see person name, age and city is there, and then we have our input tag. I think we have not closed it properly, or there is some tag mismatch which we'll shortly see. But if I try to change the value, let's say from Hyderabad to Bangalore, nothing is happening here. So definitely this object properties are not reactive by default. And now we will see the VS Code, and we will correct our code. Okay, so let me go back to my VS Code screen and make it large. Let's open the HTML file. Okay, we have obviously we have an extra lightning input tag which was visible. Okay, so that happens when you default, when you use the auto completion of the code. All right, I'm going to delete it, and now I'll have to make some changes on our JS file. I'm going to import the track decorator, and I'm also going to use this track decorator with the property person. Okay, so we have made some changes on the JS file, we have made changes on the HTML file. Let's deploy this to production again, and we'll check it on the Salesforce side. Okay, so we have deployed it. Let's go to Salesforce and see if it is working or not. So let me refresh it. The extra input tag is now gone. Let me try to make changes here, and now you can see the moment we added the track decorator and redeploy it, now whatever we are writing in the city name, that also is getting auto populated on line number 3 of our object property. So now if I change it to Bangalore, I'll be able to see Bangalore in the person city. If I change it to Delhi, Delhi will be visible. So all the property which have the inner properties, or you can say the complex data type like list and objects which have inner property, they will not be reactive by default. We will still be needing the track decorator to do the calculations or to do the bidirectional sync on them. They will not be reactive by default, and that is the use case why we still have to use the track decorator. Okay, so I've explained it pretty slow. You can watch it on the 2x if you want to, but try to do it practically in your, or when you say this in the interview, because when you have done it practically, you will have a different kind of confidence when you will say that answer in front of the interviewer. That is the only intention, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.